today we have a International Collector's Edition seal box that I bought about 6-7 years ago. The market for these were still relatively decent. I picked this one up for about $1,500. When they first were released, we can see here in the bottom what the MSRP is. It says $49.99 back in '93. So that's about 26 years ago, and that's a pretty significant increase in value still. I mean, from $50 when it was released to $1,500 when I got it, and today's value, which goes at least above $10,000 for this seal set. Now, I actually bought two of these. I bought two of these when I bought them. The first one I had was a collector's edition, just straight up. It was not the international one. I opened that. I played with it for some years, and I sold it last year for $10,000 on eBay. That was an open set.
That's pretty impressive, yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. And with that money, I bought a Black Lotus Unlimited. So that's how I got the Unlimited power cards. But I've kind of decided that not only do we only live once, and we must take advantage of the benefits we're given, but also that this set will have everything I need for old school. And I have heavily shifted towards old school. I used to play a lot of Commander, but Commander is a format that takes hours and is grueling for a game, and I just realized that the market, the communities, and everything was just kind of resurging back into old school, and I find that was more of a true calling for me as a Magic player.
You enjoy the format a little more?
Yeah, I mean, I know all the cards. You know, you grew up with them. They kind of become secondary nature, and it's just, it's much more enjoyable that way, just like you said. So, I brought a few random tokens of memorabilia with me over here on the side. Brian, do you think we should share those first, or should we go straight into opening?
Let's do the letter. Yeah.
Let's do a letter. All right. So very good. So here is an original letter that I have from Quentin Hoover back in 1996. That was sent as a reply to me with some cards I had sent to him to get signed back in the day. As you see here, these addresses were released in Duelist, which was a magazine that was current at the time as an informative source for Magic players in terms of rules, puzzles, news, and so forth. Internet was kind of just developing back at around that time. So
price guides and stuff too.
Yeah. Scry came out with those. Scry came out with just price guides and some fun stuff, but Duelist was like the official magazine from Wizards of the Coast. So they, in one of their magazines, released all of the addresses of the artists where you could send your cards to get signed.
Yep.
And you hear that as a kid, you're like, yeah,
this
we're
is happening.
sending some cards. And it just happened to be that Quentin Hoover was my favorite artist at the time. He did Preacher, Suvin Doppelganger, Ball Lightning, a lot of other cards. And it just came back to where the signature or the autograph, he would do vertically up the side in silver. And it was an amazing autograph. Now, I don't have those cards anymore because I sold my collection a couple times, and I'm very
sad about that.
I'm kind of like, that was an unfortunate decision that I had to make at the time. But his cards that are autographed now are going for like 10 times as much as just the card itself is worth. But you can see here, I mean, he, as an artist, the fact that he took time to write a letter to one of his fans meant a lot to me. Yeah. And so I kept that letter ever since. And, it doesn't take up much space. And I just thought this was really cool. He no longer is amongst us, so anything to keep from, or from those days with, especially Quentin Hoover, is just very unique and
it's a cool piece of thing, little thing to have. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just cherish just for the memory more than anything. So, personalized and everything. So I'm just gonna kind of show this to everyone. You can see him taking the time to share with his fans good tidings, and he said he was happy to sign my cards, and Appreciate my patience and wish me Happy New Year. That's just great. So,
got nice handwriting too.
Yeah, very nice handwriting. I mean, this isn't just a typed letter on a typewriter, that he signed. He hand wrote everything. So, thank you very much, Quinn. If you can hear me, for those memories, I'm gonna close this on and pass over to the next piece of memorabilia that I brought with me, and not a high value piece of memorabilia, but it is a significant one because I want to share the Pocket Players Guides. These came out in about 94, circa approximate. Let's see what it says here. If I can find the date on it, doesn't matter really. It's around that time. Yeah, it says 93, 94, 95. 95 is when this one was printed. So this is the first one. This is the second one.
The general strategy guides, how to play.
Yeah, yeah. This one's very basic. You can see it on the kind of lack of art. I mean, this is kind of just a basic layout. Whereas this one, Quinn Hoover actually did the art in this one here, as you can see. But it does say this was for Magic the Gathering 4th edition. Back then, again, it was just the beginning era of Magic, and to accumulate knowledge and information in books and magazines, that was really the main source for players to get anything out of the game that they needed to know about.
Yeah, before the proliferation of the internet.
Yeah, the internet
print
really
media was
changed
still
everything.
around.
Yeah, so went away from paper and went online. But these were kind of like small Bibles at the time. People will carry these with them. Be like, hey, let me see.
We check the rule on that,
Yeah, because it was like, hey, here's the rule change. And it said it used to be like this. And even here, I'm going to open right here. It says, how does banding work? Banding's more confusing, and they're trying to explain it here. Multiple creatures block the same attack, and one of the creatures is banding. The defending player gets to distribute damage among the blocking creature, which is really significant in the game of Magic, because that's a great ability to have. And not many people really knew how banding worked. It was kind of like this odd little thing they did.
Still don't, because there's not too many cards with it. Yeah.
And they kind of haven't printed any cards with banding, have they, since? No. And the little tricks here: Colossus Sardia with instant energy. Woohoo! You untap a 9/9 that costs 9 mana to untap for 0. So that's a great combo. It's right here. Channel Fireballs over here, just in case you didn't know that was a great combo. So, anyways, these are some really cool pieces with some additional art that's just inserted here and there, and that I wanted to share with everyone. This is the origin of Magic right here.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So. Also brought this binder. I'm going to put the cards in. This is one of the original binders. It's got the Sarah Angel, Wizardry, Hurloon Minotaur, and Goblins, whatnot on the front. Just good old 3-ring binder. But this is a highly collectible, and I think these go for a couple $100.
Yeah, a lot of those old binders are pretty pricey.
Yeah. So I'm lucky to still have one of them. Let's go back again, I guess, to where we started. With this, if there's nothing else you want to talk about, Brian,
I'm excited to get to it.
Yeah, so this, for everyone out there and who may not know about it, this is a predetermined set. It's basically all of the alpha cards or beta cards, those editions, just in one go, 363 cards. Or actually, no, I'm wrong, 302 cards from the original set, but it makes 363 cards with the lands, the basic lands in them. So, anyways, 363 cards. So, when we open this, it won't be like, whoa, we're going to get a Black Lotus. No, we know we are getting a Black Lotus. And we're getting all the power and all the dual lands. And this will be the first time this has been opened ever. Shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go right to it. I think this one actually has a little rip back here. I think I just take advantage of.
Yeah,
I'm just
don't risk it with
slow.
that knife.
I don't think the knife needs to be used here. I'm just gonna go real slow. Man, 26 years this thing's been sealed up. Can you believe that? I'm gonna try to make a little slit right on top here. So let me get this. Yeah. There we go. And Brian, I want to thank you for the opportunity today, because this is a
Yeah, man.
momentous
I'm glad you
event.
had something cool to bring in.
Yeah.
I've
And
never
we're at the end games.
correct
People-
in
whoever's-
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Yep. No one kind of knew where that was. I think the
The
mat gives it away. So let's continue going slow and easy here. Would you agree this was comparable to Titanic's maiden voyage? One big epic event waiting to happen?
Yeah, hopefully with a better ending.
Yeah. No icebergs in sight.
Yeah.
And the third voice that you were hearing is my dad, who's joined us today. So I want to introduce him as well. He'll be joining in on this. All right, so this is what it looks like. I was worried this thing would be empty.
Or some rocks.
Yeah,
What's in there?
I was like, is the good stuff gonna be in here? Because I can't see through the box.
There's no one to go back to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, I don't have any recourse. Yeah, you're right. So let's see so we got 6 sealed stacks of magic.
Yeah.
They've all been put in like,
Are they by color? Or are they in
I don't
any
know. They
particular
looks
order?
like some are upside down. No, yeah, some are upside down. So this is how I pulled it out. These were facing down, as you can see right here. They were facing down like this, but this middle one here is facing up. So I don't know if they just didn't care at the time. They just want to get them in the boxes,
Yeah.
get them out of factory.
Quality control might have
Yeah.
been a little lackluster.
Yeah, I think so. But I hope all the cards are gonna be here. We should count them as well. So I'm gonna just line them up here. So you can see on the back it says International Edition. They have a gold border on them to distinguish them from the original set of beta print. But they have everything the beta had in front. These are the original back or frontings, I guess you'd call them. Whereas the backing is just gold border.
And those nice square corners.
Yeah, I know. This is kind of comparable to like the uncut sheets.
Yep.
But they've just been cut, right? Would you say, and just not rounded on the border? I mean, on the edges, the corners
Seems
is
so,
the
yeah.
word I should use. Yeah. So, I guess I'll just start with the first one here.
The
Let's
basic
see.
lands.
Yeah. Let's see what's in here. I want to see if there's anywhere I can. Looks like it's got a little rip pull thingy where they cut into the plastic and made it. I gotta find the little tab. See if I can find this little tab here so that I can go easy on these guys. Yeah, it's gotta be on the side.
I think it's
Yeah, it's on
about
the
three
side.
quarters of the way up the top. Yeah.
I think it's on the side here. 3/4 on the way up.
It's like right here.
You see, I see that, but I'm trying to find that where you would tear it off the tab. It's really hard to see. Yeah, 'cause it's a strip that I have to pull off.
Yep.
Looks like it's right here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna try to see if I can. Let's see. Best way to do that. This is really hard. You know what? I'm gonna try this little knifey thing. I'm just gonna cut it from the bottom, because right here it's kind of like on a what do you call that? A cigarette box where they
Mhm.
just put them together.
Mm.
So I'm just gonna. Yeah, that works.
Alright, we're in there, team.
Yeah, we're getting in there. Now with the square corners,
You gotta be a little careful
you
on
have
that.
to be
Yeah.
super careful, because anything will just grab them and touch them, and then they can get nicked. So we don't want that if we can avoid it. I get this sticky plastic off. All right, very good. Look at that. So we're getting into, I'm assuming, what's basic lands.
Plastic's held up pretty well for
Yeah.
26 years. A lot of times it
Yeah, it's not
starts
too
to
Disintegrate,
Yeah, it's not too bad. Decent quality. All right, so let's have a look here. So it looks like they mixed some cards in.
Oh, yeah.
So we got basic land. You know what? Let me put these over here so we can just focus on what's being opened. So we got flight, psychic venom, another island, Circle
Are
of
these,
protection.
is that a 60 card deck, perhaps? Or are these 6 individual
That's
decks?
a great question. That's a great question. I'm laying them out to see what's in there. So here are some forests.
Oh,
So it looks like they're just mixing it all together. They might have thought that the color scheme variation is more thrilling to someone opening.
Stone Rain. I love that card.
Yeah, Stone Rain's awesome. Good classic. The mounds, the lands are beautiful. You got Earthbind, basic cards here, weakness, swamps. I'm just gonna lay the lands together here. Dream Life, that's I know you like that one, right?
Yep.
That's an awesome card right there. Look at that.
Blue Elemental Blast.
Yeah, that's a popular card in the format of Old School. Phantasmal Terrain also comes in handy. Got a lot of cards here. That we got Disenchant. That's a staple.
These are all legal in Old School. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Yep.
yeah, they are, and that's just so great about this printing is that it's being accepted into Old School as, I guess, just to foster the community of playing with the original art and being able to get cards in there. Back before Old School kind of grew, I'd say about 2-3 years ago is really when Old School
Yeah.
started to root itself. No one ever thought that these cards were going to be acceptable, so no one wanted them. So we got keep going. Did he want to join in, or what do you think? He's so good. All right.
Got some work to do.
Yeah. All right.
I have to go out. I have someone's phone.
That's go.
Okay.
Feel
Yeah.
free. Yeah.
Thanks for
This, we
joining
will be here
us.
for a little
yeah,
bit.
We'll be here just going through. Think of some cool stories if you got any. Anyways, we're opening Grizzly Bears. So we got
It's
Grizzly
always
Bears.
exciting.
Remember Grizzly? You've seen Grizzly Bears?
I might have a few in
You
my
might have
collection.
a few. So right now I'm just opening cards. This looks like a bunch of lands mixed with cards. I'm just putting them
This
down here.
Dwarven
Warriors. Have you
Warriors.
seen this guy before?
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. So what he would do is he would use his ability on cards like Dragon Whelp.
Yep.
That had a power that was 2 or less, and then you could pump it after it gained unblockable. That was a
Little
typical
combo there.
Yeah, typical combo. I mean, look at that. That
Dread or terror.
Terror and Paralyze. These had never seen daylight before until now.
Yeah. No,
So-
gotta. That's cool.
That's cool. So this is the first one. So what do you think I should do, Brian? Should I just go ahead and put them aside, or should I be putting them straight into sleeves?
Well, sleeving might take some time. I
Yeah,
don't want you to
that's what
rush
I'm
the
thinking.
process and damage anything up.
So
And nobody wants to watch anybody
yes,
sleeve cards up.
Yeah. So let's put them neatly over here then.
4 hours
4
of
hours
card
later.
sleeves.
Come on, that was part of the experience. All right, so let's go ahead and put these.
So what would you say is the best card out of that?
Out of this
pack.
stack here,
What's your favorite card out of that
my
stack?
favorite card. Let me take a quick look again through these. Yeah, I mean it's got to be the Terror.
Yeah.
Terror or the Drain Life, one of these two, because they've seen a lot of play.
Yep.
Terror is a staple, takes out creatures easily for very little mana. But Drain Life is like
That's a
great
game winner,
game
yeah.
winner right there. And when you go to long game or mid game and you're just like, I need some of that life back, because black pays a lot of life for their habits of drawing cards and whatever they do. Greed is not in this set, but that was a good card. Enables draw.
Are we gonna see a stream of life in this? Is that what?
Yeah.
Was that printed back then?
Yeah, I think did I open a Stream of Life here?
I don't think so.
Thought
No.
I did. I didn't open a Stream of Life.
See that fog?
Let's see, I thought I opened a stream. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was another. Yeah, here it is. I did open a stream. Look at this.
Oh shoot! You gotta gain X life.
Yeah, X
Nice.
Life. That's a lot
Old
of life.
powerhouse.
You can feed the habit. Yeah, I know one of our old school players uses that in his mono green control deck. So we got about 5 more packs to go. So we're at the end games here in Charlottesville. They got a huge game area where everyone can come play.
Yeah, please do. We got a old school tournament coming up.
Oh yeah.
Well, I forget the day already.
Yeah, when is that again? I think that's it's coming up. I think it's about a week from now, isn't it? from
So,
what I remember, it should be
let's see.
July 6th.
Yes, that is correct.
So next Saturday, folks. Did we
12:30.
12:30, right? Yep. Come on over 12:30. We're gonna have a big old school tournament. Rules are gonna be on your guys' website and the link
Yep,
for
I'll
Toronto
have
Central.
You'll have all the information. I'll put it. It'll be here in the video after I put it in.
Awesome. So, and what is the entry for that?
Oh, I think we were still doing 15. If
15
you
for
pre-register,
entry if you pre-register.
$20 at the door,
20 at the door.
and everybody puts in $20 in credit to the prize pool, even if you pre-register at 15. So
Nice.
sign up early and get
Yeah.
a little advantage.
That's awesome. And I've also decided, in addition to that, to throw in a couple spicy surprise for the most creative deck. I have a Mark Tedden deck box, and I'll give for last place, so no one feels bad about coming out and
The Congeniality
playing.
Award.
yeah, I think I'll give him a Dragon
yeah.
Shield box of sleeves. I think that's fine. So
Alright.
let's go ahead and open this thing up. Wow, this is so crazy. Just opening the wrapper up is like, oh, I have to be really careful because I don't want to nick the corners by putting too much pressure on them. Here we go. We used to
Smell it.
smell them because the cards had a much more significant card, ink, chemical odor to them, and we actually made fun of that when we were buying packs. We're like, yeah, we want some real cardboard crap, and you gotta snort it right after you open it. So
I'm sure wherever they were getting them printed might have just been a little caustic.
Yeah. Well, I definitely have some fumic impact.
I really like that island. That
Oh, wow, look
the
at
dark
that.
evening one.
This one here in the middle?
Yep.
Yeah, that one's really nice. I mean, look at that. Then this card is Creature Bond. Target creature is destroyed. Deals an amount of damage to the creature's toughness to that creature's controller. This comes in handy. I mean, you're playing blue-red. You're destroying creatures. Deal extra damage once the creature's dead. That card, Invisibility.
Circle of Protection.
Sick. Yeah, Circle of Protection red. That's probably that or Circle of Protection black were like some of the
Pretty good.
most used circles back then. I mean,
The amount of color hate cards, they really played on the 5 different colors a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but just the way they designed some of those hate cards.
Yeah.
They've kind of gone away from specific color hate cards.
Right. They definitely had everything you needed to kind of protect yourself back then from the colors. So I think that was very well balanced because you knew what you would face, and now you just needed the
Draw that answer.
yeah, draw the protection as an answer. Wild Growth looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, that's a classic staple for green. Man, look at that art.
Taps
That
for an
is-
extra mana, enchant a land, right?
Yeah. Enchanted Land gives an extra green mana, but it costs just 1 green, so you're doing that like turn
Turn
1
one,
or
yep.
whenever. Mark Poole, who did this art, he's still around. I saw him last year at Star City doing autographs, so you guys can still catch him out there.
Ironwood Tree Folk.
Ironwood Tree Folk, and it's done. The art is done by Jesper Murfus, and he was the game design director for Wizards. Believe it or not, he was not only like one of the big artists, but he was also the guy who decided which artists
Got to
got
do
to
what?
do
Yeah.
what.
And he
So
told himself he was going to draw a tree.
I guess so. He's like, he either drew it for this, or he might have had it ready, and he was like, I don't know if they did the art specific for the card or if they already had it and they just said, hey, we'll make a card around it. Oh man, look at this. Douglas Schuler right here. Tranquility.
You got
Look
another
at
card
that.
underneath it.
Do I? Oh, I did pick up double, man. You
Mhm.
caught that. It's got good eyes over there. All right, so we got Tranquility. I mean, look at that. Look at that
To
art.
destroy all enchantments.
Destroy all
Or-
and
or they're
back
discarded.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, must be discarded. I guess it was more politically correct in one way because it wasn't so hard to say it was destroyed and it was just discarded. I don't know. But the art on these cards are definitely the biggest draw, I think, to what drew Magic players in back then. Because
Yep.
I remember my first card was an Order of the Ebon Hand from Fallen Empires.
Mm-hmm.
It was a guy with the shield and the flames in the back, and I was mesmerized by the art. I looked at it and I was like, what just happened here? And I need more of these. And I was probably like 12, 13 years old when I first started. And ever since, it's been a great adventure, and just a great hobby. So the art has definitely been a big part of it. Fireball here, one of the biggest classic staples of Magic, I'd say.
One of the biggest retailers has got are named after it. So.
Yeah, that's right. And there was a combo with this, so most of you know it. And if you want to know it, come on out and see us on Saturday. I'll tell you what
Then
it
we'll
is.
show you what it's all
I'll tell
about.
you what it is. Monza's Goblin Raiders. Look at that. They did not have. I don't see an apostrophe after the S. They actually have double S there. Monza's Goblin Raiders. So that's okay. Good old Magic. And it's actually a good old classic Goblin too. A lot of people played that. Lands over here. It's another Swamp. This one's kind of like the lighter version.
Yeah.
They came in different versions. So we got
Drudge
Drudge
skeleton.
Skeletons. You ever play this guy before?
Nope.
No. 1/1 regenerate on the ground. Yeah. So he was a pretty used card. I mean, he's good for blocking. You know.
Stick around forever, yeah.
Oh, the Unholy Strength. You know the story on this, right? The art.
No.
So, I'll tell you. There is a burning pentagram in the background,
I
as
see
you
that.
know.
Yeah.
And apparently, there were complaints.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mostly by parents.
Yep.
That their children were possessing satanic cards, and that was an issue. So,
Dungeons and Dragons got the same kind of heat when that Tom Hanks movie came out.
When was this?
It was that was in like the 80s or 70s.
80s or
think.
70s.
Yeah.
Okay, because this was around 93.
Yep.
So, I guess they thought this was appropriate for the card, but I guess I remember reading that I believe it was Jesper Murfos, the art director for Magic, who we just had spoken about a minute ago. He actually had to respond and make a decision to remove this. So in the printings, consequently,
It's not there anymore.
No, into revised. It's I believe it's either revised or 4th edition. I don't have it on me, but I believe it's revised. It's not on there. So you could probably look it up if you want, but I know it's gone. They took it off. Sadly, now you got to get the original card if you want to remain as dark and satanic associated, I guess.
Well, some of the newer cards are so much over the top and very graphic, so it's kind of funny to see that was what was causing an issue.
Yeah, and they might have been sensitive, right, when the game was being developed.
Yeah,
they
they're
didn't
trying
want
to-
to take any risks. What do you have over there?
I'm just looking up the different
3rd
versions.
edition, 4th edition.
Let's see.
It's either 3rd or 4th.
Fourth, yep. Doesn't
4th
have
doesn't have it, right?
Yep.
So what looks better? It kind of looks better with the.
I think it looks better with it. It's a little boring without it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the guy's just yawning.
Yeah,
and
stretching
out.
Yeah, I just woke up. I just got super strong. We got Jump, nice surprise card. If you
Give
wanna
somebody
a creature
flying.
Here's another island. I like this island too. It's got that light baby blue like effect. Makes you feel.
Looks relaxing.
Yeah,
Cool
very
waters at the
relaxing. Yeah,
beach.
cool waters on the beach. Oh, here we go. This card. This card was also an iconic staple. Prodigal Sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
You know the story on this guy?
Nope.
Any association with him? So he was nicknamed, and I believe the main source was Monty Python, where there was a wizard character who was named Tim.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, there was a similarity in this guy's appearance, mostly
So
because
he's
of the
Timmy.
beard. They called him Timmy after that. Yeah, now it dresses differently and doesn't wear that hat. He had like a, something like, what do you call that? The goat horns, whatever, coming down on the side of his face. But this is the original Timmy. It's a very powerful card because it deals 1 damage to any target. And a lot of 1/1s in the original game. Birds of Paradise, Elves, Goblins, whatever. Take out. So for blue, this
Yeah,
is
it's
a
pretty
very
good.
strong control card, and it's a classic step. A lot of people would play that. What do we have here? Power Leak. Target enchantment costs 2 extra during your upkeep, and it does 1 damage for each unpaid mana. That's okay. This is good against enchantments. Nothing too crazy, but you can have a lot of fun with this. You have a couple of those out, and your opponent's Circle of Protection start causing him some damage or mana cost. Either way, this is a nice plains. I actually like this one. This has nice art to it.
I like it, the darkness of it.
Yeah, the dark, the boldness, but also the rich green colors in the plains is it's very nice, very nice. This is one day that we might never see again, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Opening one of these up, there are very few left in the world that are sealed. We got Guardian Angel right here. Oh, and this was actually a good card too. In response to a fireball where you're paying X,
Mm-hmm.
you can counter that damage by paying your own X and preventing X of that damage. So
Just when they thought they got you.
yeah,
I'll take 2 less.
that's right, or 10 less, or whatever you can pump into it. And I guess one thing we didn't really talk about, which I'd like to share with everyone, is the difference between. I'm just going to throw this in here because it's on my mind suddenly. There were 2 printings of this set. One was just collector's edition,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second is the international collector's edition. The second, which is this one, international collector's edition, was a more limited print than the original, but it was an additional print run that they wanted to do because I guess demand or something about the orders didn't get fulfilled to the numbers that they had put in. So they did a second run on the print, and that makes this set more rare than the original collector's
That's kinda
edition,
funny.
believe it or not. So this set here actually has a little bit more value than the original collector's edition. So it's kind of funny how that works. So a little trivia information for you old schoolers out there if you didn't already know. Circle Protection Blue. It's good against the Mahamodi Jin, 5/6 flyer coming at you.
Fat Modi
Yeah,
is the problem.
Fat Modi, and then he's cloning and doppelganging that thing, and
Yep.
before you know it, 1 mana stops you from getting doinked and domed.
That's pretty nice.
Yep, so we'll put that over here. Here's another plains. This is very white. It's not as bold as the other one here. It's got that dark. This one on the right has that darker
Border,
color to
yeah.
it. Yeah, border. Everything about the image is darker, whereas this one here is just a brighter version. So it's just kind of funny how those color nuances and the ink just came on these, and I don't know if they meant to do that.
Yeah, it might have been different print runs for those. They did all of those planes at
Yep.
first, and then
Yeah.
it came out differently for the second batch.
Yep. This is a forest as well. It's very nice neon green coming out of them, because the unlimited alpha and beta prints had this nice neon green color to them,
Mm-hmm.
and once they went to revise, they kind of did a bleach color, brighter. Everything kind of went away. It didn't give you that neon rich green feel to them. So I especially like the green from this set. Scripts Rights. Scripts Rights, our classic 1/1 flyer. Tim could take that out, but you would giant growth it, berserk it, do all the good stuff to it.
Might as
So
well.
That's what green wanted to do and still is doing today. The green decks have a lot of that going on when they put this guy in. A lot of giant growth. Giant growth on one of these guys would take out a 4/4 Sarah Angel.
You gotta do what
Put
you
'em
gotta
in
do.
equal
Yeah,
terms.
Sarah Angel's a problem.
Yeah. Sarah Angel is a good white
Oh,
creature.
Land of War
Yeah,
Elves.
Land of War Elves. You see how nice this green color is?
Yep.
You see how the richness and the variation of the shades comes through, and then you got that nice bright yellow. I mean, to me, this is the ideal
Land of War Elf.
Land of
It's the
War
one you
Elf
want.
to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're really big on the art. So here, let you see it. I'll put it right here. You can see that. Iron Claw orcs. It was funny. They tried to get orcs into Magic, but they didn't. It didn't
Never really got
go
there, yeah.
anywhere. Nah, they didn't do much. They didn't make any like good orc like cards besides a few like there was like an orc general from the dark and just some random stuff. But goblins got most of the support, so They have some goblin decks that are being played today in old school. Uh-oh, here we go. Look at this
That
card.
thing looks real
here.
nice. Yep.
Yeah, Red Elemental Blast. This one is one of the strong counter punches to blue. Actually, the best I believe there is made.
I don't think it gets much better.
No, for 1 red, counter a blue spell or destroy a blue card in play. Yeah, that's very, very good. I mean, look at the rich color there as well. If you see that, I don't know if you guys can see that well, but I want to kind of bring it up a little bit. Just clear right there. That is, look at that color. That's just, it's a very old school OG 93 quality right there. So anyways, let's keep going. We got some mountains. Hoping that they might have given us 2 Black Lotuses. I don't know if that's too crazy of a dream to have. False Orders. This is actually an interesting card. Not a lot of people play, but which just has a really cool name to it and the ability of it. You decide for 1 red whether and how 1 defending creature blocks. So you're basically sending your opponent's creatures wrong orders for 1 red on what to do.
The flavor was real. Yeah.
Yeah. False Orders. That's funny. And the art. I mean, just look at that little paper that's drawn out, and you can see how some of the directions have been altered, which are the false orders being given. Can you?
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm going to show that to you.
It's pretty
right
interesting.
there. Yeah, it's very. This is what I really liked about the old cards, is that they had full creativity into their art. Now, what we have is all digital mostly, or all of it?
It depends on, I guess, how certain artists do it, but I would assume most of it's digital.
Most of it's digital, right? All right, Dark Ritual, another staple card. Black. I mean, look at this thing is straight out of the box. This one's very nice. Very nice. I mean, the glare is perfect. So, Dark Ritual's also a staple card for black.
Pretty good with the drain life.
Very good with the Drain Life. And the classic play is the Hypnotic Spectre turn 1 with this Dark Ritual. So, no one likes to see that, but the black player. Alright, let's go on here. Plague Rats. Rats was an interesting concept when they first came out, because you have to have a lot of Plague Rats for it to grow.
Yeah.
It's XX equal to the number of rats in play. So
They've kept that theme around for
Yeah.
a long time. Rats still all kind of do that
Yeah.
still.
yeah, rats came, I think, with Time Shifted, was it? They got a lot of good rats or something. There were some sets out there that they,
Relentless Rats came out, and they've been reprinting that for a while.
yeah. Relentless Rats.
Crypt Rats.
Crypt
that one's
Rats.
a little different.
Yeah, it's Visions. And I can kind of see here in the swamp. I don't know if I can see it, if you can see it on here, but they have like a run line. They have like run lines over the card
Mm-hmm.
on the. I don't know if it's on the surface or not. If you can see that, but those are still visible. I don't know if you.
Yeah,
can
I can see
that.
the little striations.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's like just part of old cards or what it is, because not all the cards have that. All right, so we have Fear. I mean, look at the image. She looks scared.
It should be.
She
It's
looks
kind
a little
of
scared.
odd amount of skulls to be
Yeah.
standing around.
Yeah. So they're coming at you, and they don't want your creature to be blocked except artifact black creatures, which is good on a lot of creatures.
And now
Put that on.
they put that as an ability on
Yeah.
cards these
Yeah.
days.
Put that on like a sheet. Yeah, that's right.
It's like a
What's
keyword.
that called? Fear?
Yep.
That's called Fear or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's Fear, and then they have the other version of it.
Yeah. All right, so good old power sync here. This card, I mean, look at the yellow. Look at the kind of, I want to call it the art is somewhat primitive, because, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not very sophisticated what's going on here. It looks like a sketch almost. And I think the yellow, though, the yellow and the blue stands out. And I think
Contrasts well.
contrast well, yeah. When you see this card being played, you're like, yep, I know what that card's going to do to me right now as I'm playing this spell. So just sinks it. Power sync. Very good card. You know what this card does, though?
Does it
It's full effect.
Tap all their mana.
Taps
right?
all their mana, so that's really good with cards like Winter Orb, Stasis, stuff like that, you know. Cards that you want to make sure that their board state stays tapped. Twiddle. You know this card?
Untap a permanent? Or?
Tap or untap a
yeah.
permanent. Very twiddly. Very lives up to its full name. And this is used with cards like Winter Orb as well. You can tap the Winter Orb, but most recently and at a very good power level, it's being used with Time Vault. They allowed Time Vault to just come into play, tapped, and then when it untaps, or when you tap it again, you just take the extra turn, so you just have an effect that untaps it. So having 4 of these in a Time Vault is pretty nice because you start taking some turns. With Time Vault, there's actually a combo. It's called Animate Artifact. Makes it into a creature, and you play Instant Energy on it, which untaps it for free. In additional time every turn, and you have infinite turns.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, why not? All right, here's a third island right here. Also a classic, but if you do line these up next to each other, you can see how there are a lot of color nuances and contrasts that they're trying to bring out of a simple card like an island. Yeah.
How do you make an island look great from far away?
Yeah, from far away, just a pile of dirt that looks really beautiful, I guess. That's what an island is in the end. Third planes. This one's kind of, I think, in the medium range. This isn't as dark or as bright as the 2 others. See if we put it right here next to this one. This one I think was, I don't know. I think this one, they're the same. Which actually makes me wonder. Okay, that means that there might be multiple, I think, of each land. I would have thought there was just one of each basic land.
I think there's going to be multiples, yeah, because you've already seen that island before, too.
Yeah. So I guess they want to make sure that we had some extra lands in case we wanted to play them.
Yeah.
So. Benali Shira, one of the creatures with banding. It's a good card, 1/1. Bands, you get to distribute the damage when they fight in their group against your opponent's creatures. So make her survive and you determine the outcome. So that's what banding does. Have you seen this one before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we got, here's a Circle Protection Black. Color is very nice on this. Yeah, this one's very nice. And this one's just a staple card as well. You got Nightmares, Hypnotic Specters coming at you, whatever it is, you need some protection, you got it right here. Circle Protection Black. Here's another mountain. I really like these mountains. I mean, look at that rich red color, kind of neon-like, almost pink.
Yep.
That's how they made them.
It's almost an orange too. Like
yeah, it's orange, like, but it does bring out that like neon feel. So that's just the basic one. Oh, here's the giant growth we talked about.
Classic big rat.
Classic big rat. Wow, look at that. 3/3 for 1 green. And we got forest again. Another great looking forest with the neon green colors. You can even see the borders on the inside have a little bit of that green going around the frame on the inside. It goes really well. I mean, they just did a great job. And this artist, you know this artist? I think you do. You can read him.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Rush.
Yeah. And what card was Mr. Rush most famous for?
I'm assuming it's that force.
The force. Actually, and this is not something most people just able to pull out, but I know it because it's actually the Black Lotus he did.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
He did the Black Lotus, and I will hopefully get to that. But it's interesting, it's just great to see how all the artists did a variety of art, cards, lands, whatever they did. Wall of the Wood. For 1 green, you get a 0/3, and you get a set of peeking eyes through the brambles.
That
or
guy's
whatever
all up in the
way. Yeah. So I'm just going through them. And War Mammoth, 3/3 trample.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good for 4. That's better than Hill Giant, which is a 3/3. Once you put like the giant growth, you put the berserks on them, that kind of stuff. Oh, talking about
the devil.
Speaking of the devil, this looks like such a butch card, man. I mean, this guy is like a classic rando. I mean, he's got the It's got the bald head, big nose, got the spike coming
club,
out,
yeah.
spike coming out of the club. But he's just a classic 3-3 hill giant. So if you put these next,
A lot of things have been compared to Hill Giant. Is
Yeah.
it better than Hill
Yeah,
Giant?
is anything better than hill giant? Oh, here's another classic, Shatter. Shatter is also a staple card to use.
Yeah.
Destroys artifacts. A lot of artifacts in this set. Moxes, ice manipulators, winter orbs.
Winter Orbs. Yeah.
Winter orbs gotta go. Winter's gotta go. Here's a mountain. This mountain here is again like with the color contrast on this other one here, the brighter one. You got a favorite so far?
I kind of like that blue, but
You kind of like the blue and stuff?
yeah, I
Okay.
like the snow covered.
Yeah, that's nice.
If it was darker, I would like it more, but
Well, they did make a third one. Let's see if we can find that. I think I have that. Nope, not here. It'll be coming up. Swamps. This swamp, I believe, is the one that they did a misprint of in a German 4th edition. Actually, no. It's either this one or this one. It's either one of these guys. I don't remember. Just remember the branches coming out. They misprinted in German 4th edition. They had combined the swamp and a drudge skeleton. So on the swamp it would say 1/1 regenerate.
that's pretty
And
good.
that was a funny error in their print run. Someone made a big mistake there. But we as Magic players, we appreciate those
Yeah,
mistakes. 'Cause
Trying to look for that unique.
yeah, I mean, it's a swamp. It's a 1/1 regenerator. That's pretty good. Yeah, so we would like more of those cards when they come. Here's another swamp. Nothing too crazy there. Frozen Shade. This is also one of the cards that would work with the Dwarven Warriors.
Yep.
0/1 pumps.
And then
Yep.
pump them afterwards.
Send them in,
Yep.
pump him afterwards. And again, Douglas Schuler is the artist here. He did a lot of the cards. He even did this one right here, Banala Shiro. He did Demonic Tutor. He did Hypnotic Spectre. He did a lot of them. And I met him last year as well. He autographed a couple of my cards. That's pretty unique. These artists aren't not gonna be around forever, guys. So you can catch them out there, get them, give you some of their autographs, and keep those cards. Hopefully, bring you joy
Yeah.
for a lot more years to come. Sinkhole,
Classic.
classic card. This is I mean, hands down, the best land destruction card for the mana. Stone Rain costs 3.
Yeah.
So Sinkhole for 2 mana, even though it's double black, is the price you pay when you want speed. So 2 mana is pretty good. I like that card a lot. Actually, I have it in my black deck. Sea Serpent. It's very
Yeah.
cards right on point with
Yeah.
the art, I would say. When you see big thing wrangling around the boat. So 5/5. Can't attack unless your opponent's got an island, but you use illusionary terrain to make your opponent's land into whatever you want it to be, and then you can get in there. So this card is pretty good. This piece of plastic on. I'm gonna get off here. Comes off my glove. It's like statically stuck on there. All right, let's get that off. I can't get it off. All right, so we're up against the elements here, so it's good we wore the gloves. All right, I think I'm good. Here's an island, and a lot of the cards you see up here, if I can bring it up, you'll see like a little dot on. Do you see that up there? You see the dot? Whoa, there it is. See that
Yep.
dot? A lot of the ink when they're printed, that's a speck from something that just got on there,
Yep.
and carries over to us. Didn't come out perfect, but it's kind of unique, that it happened. So some people think that those could be considered misprints, and they're worth more to them.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's whatever floats your boat, guys. Unsummon right here. Wow, look at that.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. Send it back home. Like Elvis Presley would sing, "Return to Sender."
Yep.
For 1 blue. This card is beautiful. Douglas Schuler also did this one. So as you can see, man, he did a lot of the art.
Yeah.
He did a lot of the art back then. And this was a good card. This is still a good card in blue. I mean, you're bouncing creatures, so buy you some time. Death Ward generates target creature. I think we're gonna
Giant
try to move a
spider.
little faster here, so I can get through all of them. What do you think, Brian? Should I move a little faster?
Unless you got a story about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Giant,
Giant
spider.
spider, very good card. Block flying creatures, especially the Sarah Angels, Hypnotic Specters. For green, this is a very good card. I mean, I remember playing this
It's
in
one of the
my
most
green deck.
One of the most printed cards of all time.
Yeah,
been in
it's
almost every set.
Been
This
in
core set.
yeah, a
like-
lot of core sets. So, big spider. It's a pretty good card. Here's another forest, and this is my favorite art.
That's real nice.
This is also Chris Rush, and as you can see, it's got the peeking eyes out of the trunk of the tree in that
Mhm.
hole, and that just brings out that little unique flavor that there's always something hiding
It's not
in
just
the
a
dark
forest, yeah.
spots, and it's not just the forest. And Magic brought that out. If you ever watched the movie Legends with Tom Cruise, you didn't watch that? It's an old
No.
'80s classic movie. I'm pretty sure Magic drew a lot of its cards from there because there's a big Juzam Jin evil guy looking guy that I'm pretty sure that's where they got their inspiration for him, and it's a lot of evil versus good kind of themes going on. And when I look at this like scenery, it feels like I'm in that movie.
Okay, I'll have to
it's
check
got-
it out.
Yeah, it's got that graphic stuff, man. I'll let you borrow it. I got it at home.
All right.
If you got good streaming
I can
accounts, you
yeah,
can
we
probably
figure
find
it
it.
out. Yeah.
Oh man, what is this? This is the lightning bolt of
Yeah.
all lightning bolts.
Yep.
It is the lightning bolt for 1 red. And Chris Rush also did this one. I think signed. What are we seeing him go at? Go for like 600 or something crazy.
I can only
in the
imagine so,
original
yeah.
Beta. Yeah, they're pretty expensive when they get signed, from what I've seen out there. But the art and the card itself is a one of. All right, we got another mountain. It's just funny to see how they mixed in
It's
the
kind of
cards.
wacky.
Yeah, it's kind of like how they want to make it random. It's like you wanted to build a deck out of it. What's this? So we got red. We got all the colors so far. So
Mhm.
I guess you just build 2, maybe 5 color decks. I don't know if I want to play 5 colors, but hey.
Howl from Beyond.
I mean, look at the art. This feels like something out of the He-Man
Yep.
cartoons from the 80s, just the way that art came out, that style. Mark Poole drew this, so I'm sure he had some experience with the 80s. All right, so that's the first. That's the. This is actually the second pile. I gotta go real slow here. I'm gonna try to pile these up, and get them sleeved at the end. Oh, they're actually so new that they're so sliding when I place them on top of each other. So Brian, when did you start playing Magic?
Right before Zendikar released, so at the end of, I guess it would be Shadowmoor block. I didn't play very much of it then. I was playing Warhammer beforehand,
Okay.
and then there was nobody to play games with, and everybody was always sitting around playing this card game. I was like, well,
What-
no,
so what did that make you think?
seemed interesting. I was like, everybody's always playing this game. Give me a shot. And then I ended up playing that way more than I ever played Warhammer. So I kind of stopped playing Warhammer. And
Yeah. So what
I think that actually the first time I played, I got a Portal starter set as a kid. But
Oh,
then
wow.
I played with my mom like a couple times, and
Uh-huh.
then I think she took the cards away. I don't know why.
Study more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, my dad here and I, we definitely had some moments with his opinions and where my focus should be. And now that I remember it, I remember in 9th grade, I brought a deck of cards in. I was browsing through them in class. My math teacher saw it, and he confiscated my deck. And I got very teary, and I wanted my dear cards back, which I did at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But even when I'd go to class, I would bring Magic cards with me to
Yeah.
school. So it was that big a part of me. I don't know who else would do that. We had a couple of times where we'd play during lunch break and stuff like that. We just get together and play cards. I also want to emphasize the importance of sleeving and protecting your cards. Back then, we just had the regular sleeves.
Yeah.
But there was one time where went to school, and I was in a classroom with a group of kids who were not from my class. I think I was in there because one of them played Magic, and we had our cards out, and then before you knew it, a water fight broke out between some students with water bottles. and so they're spraying water everywhere. And of course, some of the water hit the table
Yep.
and got in on top of my cards, right where the opening insertion gap is on
Yep.
top. And I had a card like a preacher and some other stuff, and they took some water damage. And that was before they made the double sleeve a thing.
Well,
So I went to the principal. I remember that. And I was like, "Hey, look, these guys damaged my cards." He was like, "Why are you bringing cards to school?" So I didn't get anywhere with that. So guys, if you ever have kids, you send them to school with their cards. Make sure they don't bring their good stuff, because I don't think anything's changed since then.
all right, 1 second.